Introducing some of the top philosophers. Heraclitus. Heraclitus was a pre-Socratic Ionian philosopher who, according to English writer and philosopher Catherine Osborne, can be called the most influential philosopher of this period. He was the Prince of Ephesus and was supposed to be the ruler of Ephesus, but he abdicated in favour of his brother. He hated his fellow citizens and despised and insulted them. He did not even exempt Homer and Pythagoras, who lived before him, from criticism and contempt, and believed that Homer should be pulled out of the pages of the book and flogged. Because of this hatred of people, Heraclitus left his residence and continued his life in the mountains and plains. Heraclitus rejected the permanence and stability of the elements of the world and believed that everything in the world is in flux, to the extent that, he said, no one can step into the same river twice, despite the change and flux that Heraclitus saw in all things in the world. He considered logos to be the only constant and static thing in the world. Researchers consider the logos mentioned by Heraclitus to be the law governing the world, a law whose main manifestation is contradiction. The struggle and conflict between opposites was, for Heraclitus, the only reality and universal justice. Similarly, Heraclitus even considered war to be justice and a universal matter. He is considered the founder of dialectics because of his view on the struggle of opposites. Heraclitus had no sympathy with the religions prevalent in his time and did not believe in them. It seems that he had his own religion, which was a kind. Parmenides. Parmenides was a pre-Socratic poet and philosopher. Parmenides is often credited with inventing the science of logic, but what he really invented was a science of metaphysics based on logic. Parmenides was born in Iliria, in what is now southern Italy, between 515 to 540 BC and died around 446 for 70 BC. He was apparently a nobleman and participated in the legislation of his city of Iliria. Parmenides is also known as the fourth physician, although there is a view that Xenophanes is the founder of the Iliria school. Due to the lack of sufficient evidence, Parmenides is generally considered the founder of the Iliria school. Unlike Heraclitus, who spoke in a vague and mysterious manner, Parmenides placed great importance on people understanding his thoughts. He organized his philosophical thoughts into poems. These poems consist of a prologue and two sections called the Way of Truth and the Way of Belief or Opinion. According to Parmenides, since when we think of something, and when we use a name, that name belongs to something, it is necessary that both thought and language have objects outside themselves. And since we can think of something or name something at any time, then whatever can be thought of or spoken of must exist at any time. There is no not being or not being. All that exists is only being and being, becoming, as opposed to being means not being and refusing to be, and this is logically impossible. Movement is also impossible for the same reason, because movement requires the existence of empty space or void so that the body can move in it, but a void, by definition, is nothingness and cannot exist. David Hume. He was a Scottish philosopher of the Enlightenment, historian, economist, theorist, librarian and essayist. Hume is known for his philosophical disagreements with most philosophers and his different mindset in philosophical areas such as empiricism, skepticism and metaphysical naturalism. In fact, he should be considered one of the most prominent figures in philosophy with the ideology of empiricism. David Hume, writing the book A Treatise on Human Nature, attempted to obtain a naturalistic understanding of man through which he could assess the psychological basis of human nature. David Hume opposed the existence of nature. He believed that all human knowledge stems only from experience. This belief places him as an empiricist, philosopher alongside philosophers, such as Francis Bacon, Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, and George Berkeley. One of his most important and enduring research issues is the problem of induction in logic. Induction means that the conclusion that there is a causal relationship that is drawn from the premises of the argument or from an investigation into past experiences requires us to assume that the future will be something like the past, an assumption that cannot itself be based on past experiences. Hume's argument was that induction and belief in causality are not rationally justifiable, and they arise from mental habit and custom. We never actually understand that one event is the result of another cause and effect, but only experience it, constant connection between events, temporal contiguity and proximity of their occurrence.